Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you a quick tip that's going to save you time, money, and frustration when it comes to respooling your line. And we're going to do this by using braid backing on our spools. A few things this is going to do is it's going to make it faster and easier to put new line on, and it's going to take up the space in your spool that you never really use, so therefore it's going to save you money, especially if you're using fluorocarbons. We all know how expensive it can get, and so those are a few reasons why I do it, but I'm going to show you exactly how I do it also. So I'll try to get close-ups. If you need any more info, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so we're first going to start with when you're putting the braid backing on your spool. Obviously you're going to run the braid down the guides from the top down to the reel. After that, you want to take your side plate off and then take your spool out. Next, I want you to run your braid in through the eye. You can just bring it out for now. What I do whenever I connect my line to my spool is just a very simple, it's kind of like a slip knot. You double it like this, and you do one loop. Put it back through the center. It's a little bit distance apart, so you'll end up with this right here. Trim the end. These aren't really good scissors that I normally use. Next, run your line out the side of your reel. You're going to take this hoop and you're going to take the line and stick it right through it like that and pull it tight. So we have this. What this is going to do, whenever you put it on the right way, whenever you reel, it's going to tighten down. And it'll be this way. If you watch, it'll tighten down when I spin backwards. That's the same thing it's going to do on my spool. It's going to get really, really tight. So that's the next thing I want to do, is I want to put this loop around my spool so that when it rotates, it's going to tighten that slip. So you can put the spool back in. Side cover back on, and then when you go to reel, it's going to tighten down and it's going to cinch up real good. Now I always make sure that this goes on pretty darn tight, and really using a used braid is the best because it has a little wear, it has a little fray, it has less tendency to slip. So like a new braid like Power Pro isn't the best braid to use. Some of the softer used braids is what you really want to use for backing. So stuff that people are going to throw away or change out, that's what you want to grab and that's what you want to put on. I do about 3 layers of braid. I mean, it's not really that much that I actually put on here. Here's one that I have spooled up. You can see that I don't have that much backing on there. It's just enough to take up that little part of the bottom and to just create a nice even layer. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the uni to uni knot that I use, and then that'll pretty much wrap it up. Alright, the uni to uni knot that I use. This is after you have your line, all your backing on your spool, and then you go ahead and you cut the line all the way after the tip of the rod. And you want to start with probably I use about 8 inches of each line, and you want to cross them over each other like this. You'll start at the center, so you grab the center of the 2 lines you take, we'll start with the braid too. Don't matter which one you do first, because it's basically the same knot with both lines. But the braid's probably going to be easier to see in the video, so I'll do the braid first. You want to loop it over the line, just like that. So it's straight across. You bring it back down over the line. The only other thing you have to do is you take the tag end through that hole, over both lines, back through that hole, over both lines, and through that hole again. 3 times, that's all you have to do. If you're doing a line to line at the end of your main line, like a leader for a braid to fluorocarbon for your spinning reel or anything like that, I use more loops depending on the diameter of the line. But for this purpose, it's not really carrying any strength. It just has to connect the lines together. There's no stress on it really, and if you get down to this point, then you need to re-spool anyways. So you do those 3 loops, it'll look like that. The only other thing you have to do next for this side is you just tighten it down. Those 3 loops will come together real tight. Leave that one like that. You come over to your fluorocarbon. This is 17-pound Berkeley trilene. You do the exact same thing with it. You make a loop, go over both lines, down and through. 1. This gets a little tricky just because the fluorocarbons has some memory. 2. 3. So you end up with this. Same thing, pull on that fluorocarbon line until it comes down, and then you can go ahead and pull on the braid and the fluorocarbon, and it'll bring these 2 knots together and cinch them down right against each other. That is not going to come off. It's not really bulky. It does have some bulk to it, but the last tip I'm going to give you is you cut these off pretty close. You'll end up with this. And then whenever this comes into your spool, I always bury that. I kind of push it down with my fingernail, and so it's buried inside of the braid. And I'll show you that too whenever I get this spooled up. Alright, I hope you can see that uni knot. It's going down into the spool where all my backing is. Once it gets onto the braid right there, I just take my nail and I try to push it down in between pieces of that braid. I kind of just smush it down in between there so it lays nice and flat. So whenever you put some tension on it when you reel, and it should lay nice and flat in there, and that way whenever your fluorocarbon comes over it, it won't be a giant bump in your line. Sometimes if you have any fingernails at all, separate a little bit of the line, push it down in there, and then go ahead and send it around. And whenever you start to spool that up, that fluorocarbon is going to get up on top of there and push it down even more, and it makes it so you don't even know that uni to uni's there. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helps some of you on the water and your wallet. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll do what I can to help you out. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe and have a great day. Good luck on the water.